This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Circa Barrakiel, Remia Salia, Omiji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Arcadia Lunashine, Dramavian, Alex Franco AV, Nina Grimstarter, Casey Schaefer, Dimos, Lily Black, Hans Grenade, Sapa Chakwatol, Faris Gentoru, Cletus Oreo, Quick Levin, Luke Leonatrell, Ceres, Icy Lee, Lyria Rain, Pamela Isley, Umbral Wind, Naive Arano, Celeste Rascris, Elenriel Maximus, Edwin, Bob CC, Fabson Voidworm, Rami Maverick, Code Red No, Mira Miri, Winebow Brood, Bay Barbalay, Kaiser Regina, Usura Akari, AJ Brainswordsome, Suno Shikano, Gideon Ura, Buster Gearhold, Asuta Starbreeze, Nat Clay, Camille Grinnell, Huskies, and Face on Masher. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 243. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston and Rollo Des.
Hello.
Hello. It is April 24th, 2021. We will continue our Spoilercast that we started last week. Today, we'll hopefully be able to cover both Nier and Werlyt. We will also discuss the upcoming Fan Fest, more specifically the Q&A, and specifically the Q&A, because there's some details about that worries. It should worry all of you. And we'll also look at the schedule that was also recently released. I don't know if we have time for Mogmail. I'm going to say no. So next week will probably be fine, so we'll do Mogmail next week. We'll do that next week. I'm just realizing that I need to do this. All right, so let's jump into some channel updates first. Core, that is Chronicles of a Realm, will be out for patrons on the 30th, Friday. That is the third part of the Gridanian MSQ. That means there's 2 parts to go. And I have started... I think I've mentioned that script working for Roar has started, but now like actual video work for the next Roar episode has begun. Not giving you a date, but just letting you know that it is working, it's happening, but yeah, May is a busy month, so it's definitely not coming out in May. But yeah. So that's that. That's the PvP episode of Remnants of a Realm. Also for patrons, 2 more things. Actually, there are technically 3. 1.0 stream on Tuesday. That's very exciting because there's... I don't want to tease it because I don't know if it works. You know how it is. So something interesting might happen on that during that stream, so make sure you catch that. Movie night is on Thursday, so there will be the usual what's it called? The thing that you fill out. You can send in your suggestions.
For movies.
Yes. Send in your suggestions. That will be posted in the Patreon chat very soon. No, it will be posted in the Movie Night channel. Last but not least, May 11th through. There's 4 dates that are of high importance coming up, and no, not FanFest. May 11th, 18th, 20th, and 22nd is our live coverage of Eurovision. That's for patrons. Starting on May 11th, we'll have a pre-show where we introduce you to Eurovision. And also show some of our favorites. It's going to be a fun little, pre-show. That's a week before the first semi, which is on the 18th. We will cover that. We'll also cover the second semi-final and, of course, the grand final on May 22nd. It does not interfere with FanFest, so don't worry about it. There you go. So now you know we will be covering all of it, and patrons can attend and watch and participate. All right.
We should explain that because of the date of the grand final, podcast for that week will be a day later.
That's true. That means that May 22nd is unfortunately a Saturday. So there will be no episode of Speakers of Heidland on Saturday, May 22nd. It will be on Sunday, May 23rd. So keep that in mind as well. We'll obviously remind you when we get closer to this date. So there you go. This should still be scratched because we are going to talk about stuff. All right, let's jump into recent events then. All right. So in recent events, there's the FanFest. FanFest is coming up on the 15th of May. God, that's going to be such a busy
week.
Yeah. May 15th, we have...
And 16th.
Yeah, we have a schedule now. I don't know, maybe I should show it on screen so we can go through it together. We'll obviously be covering most of this, but not all of it. Let's have a look here at what we've been given. So here we go. So, day one.
What a cruel picture to use.
Yeah. Here is the schedule. Saturday, May 15th, day one. We'll start with the keynote address, which obviously is more information about Endwalker. Perhaps the most exciting part of this event. Let me okay. Right. So that's set to last 2 hours, which makes sense. Then there's the opening ceremony. We'll obviously cover these. We have to cover this one because we will. I think we should cover How Do You Like Heidelin, which is a lore panel. With that's supposed to be Oda-san? Who is? I'm not entirely sure who that.
Japanese community.
Yeah, I'm talking about the chibi. Yeah, but I think the chibi figure is like someone on the team, right?
Yeah, it is. I don't remember who it is though. I don't remember every person.
Isn't it the community? Specifically the Japanese community person.
Is that who it is?
Maybe that's the. I mean,
okay,
that's what it looks like.
Okay. Then there's so that one lasts for an hour until 6 a.m. BST. Oh my god, that's 7 a.m. my time. All right. Then this one. We've had some problem. This one, I don't think we will cover because we talked about this before. Like last time we covered a development panel during FanFest. I think all of the hosts were like this by the end. Just slumped over.
I want to say we reserve the right to either cover or not cover this depending on what it looks like it will be about at the time.
If they release more information about this panel, like about what it's actually about, we'll be able to make a more a clearer decision.
Because if we had not had I wasn't there, but if these guys had not had such an awful experience covering the development panel at the US FanFest, they probably would have covered the European one, which was more interesting.
Yeah, we would have,
Mr. Happen was just... I'm sorry.
And I tried so hard. I tried so hard to be interested. And I thought, okay, so here's an Excel, here's a spreadsheet. And I thought, okay, I gotta stay on top of this. So you really had to like pay attention. But then after a while, you're like, wait, is this the same spreadsheet as before? Where are we, right? What is this? It was too much. But we'll see what happens. Welcome to Naoki's room. This
not be translated, so
No.
we will not be covering it.
No. He had some interesting guests on, because I remember this was when Rollo and I covered the Japanese fan fest where we lost our minds. This was part of
Yes.
that. And
This was the white screen thing. What,
yeah,
like the
yeah,
white
yeah.
balance
It
one?
ended with the white balance thing, which
Yeah.
was what a trip. And we didn't understand most. I think we followed a translate. There was something being translated. I think maybe it was the subreddit that was translating everything.
Yeah.
Oh, but God, that
It was just the Dad of Light stuff, like for the movie.
Yes, yeah,
Mostly.
Yeah.
Which was like, if you're into that, that's cool.
yeah.
Very.
It's
That
not
was
what we
such a bizarre
expected. And then, of course, it ends with a piano performance. So we're probably going to end, at the latest, we'll end at 8 BST for the development panel, most likely.
That's like.
So 7 my time, so that's 1 a.m. your time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's not too bad.
Okay, so that's day 1. Day 2, Sunday, 16th of May. So letter from the producer live, obviously. Well, it starts at 1 a.m. No, sorry, 2:30. What? No, 2 a.m. Sorry, BST. They include GMT for some reason for Iceland, I guess. So at 2 a.m. BST, we start covering. I guess we start an hour or half an hour before. And then there's letter from the producer live. Obviously, we'll cover that.
Yes.
What a strange start time. 1:50
Yeah.
or 2:50. 2:50 to 4:30. Oddly
You're gonna be
specific.
I'm gonna make a guess.
Mm-hmm.
As with every FanFest live letter, this is going to go over schedule.
Yeah. Oh yes. That's followed by Glamour to Life. I feel like we have to cover this, even though we won't. We have to cover this because it's followed by the live Q&A.
Yeah.
So,
well, we might be talking about other things while the showcase is happening.
Yeah,
I think that's
it could
what
be
we
like
did
a
last
nice
time.
relaxing moment.
Yeah.
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 All right. Then I am intrigued by this because I think it'd be funny, but it is in Japanese without English interpretation, which means it'll be very difficult to understand what the fuck's going on for the most part. So
That might be our break time.
yes.
I don't know if we're covering the next part either.
Yeah,
Well, I was shocked to wake up one morning and see people spamming "Who wants to be a Gillionaire" for FanFest, and I thought we didn't plan anything, and it was extra. It was extra confusing because I've been working on upgrading Gillionaire so we can bring it back, and so it was weird having people talking about Gillionaire in chat. I'm like, oh. Okay, renewed interest in our show. No, they stole it. The fuckers stole it. 9 a.m. BST. They will be hosting Who Wants to Be a Gillionaire. Fun, great. Good for them. I'm
Yoshi-P
sure.
does indeed watch our streams.
Yeah,
Confirmed.
this is
basically.
yeah. This is proof. This is proof
Huh?
that he's
Yoshi-P,
watching.
I want
As-
to bring big thighs into the game, please.
Yeah.
As someone who both writes questions and participates in not this Gillionaire, but in other Gillionaires, I will be watching this very closely, and I will be unimpressed if their production is not better than ours.
Exactly. As executive producer of the original Who Wants to Be a Fucking Gillionaire, I will be watching this very closely. Anyways, after that, there's a band performance, which we will not be covering.
Otherwise
the
known
concerts.
as the Primals.
Yes. So that's that. That's that's the show.
If you're watching on the
Yeah.
If you're watching on the day, try and get to the music performances live because they won't be archived.
Right. You have to be there. All right. Let's go back here. Now, there's something about this Q&A that we need to talk about. Because we talked briefly about how they're going to do that Q&A, and we're like, there's no way they're going to do that over something as horrible as like Zoom or something, right? Because that would be a fucking nightmare. Well,
there's no way the questions will be asked live.
No. They will obviously not do that. Well, there's a post on the Lodestone. Ask Yoshida anything in the upcoming live Q&A. We are pleased to announce a special live Q&A planned for the Digital FanFest 2021 that invites Warriors of Light like you to join. During the stage event, producer and director Naoki Yoshida will answer questions posed by players across the globe. Don't miss this chance to ask that one burning question you always wanted an answer to. Before submitting your questions, you must read and agree to the guidelines. Okay, so they give you some, you have to have this. You must own a Final Fantasy XIV service account. And you must be able to participate. Here it is. You must be able to participate in the live event, which will take place on Sunday, 16th of May, between 5:30 GMT, 6:30 BST, and 6:30. That's wrong. Oh, sorry, that's the end time. And 6:30 GMT, 7:30 BST. And here's the kicker. And be able to use Zoom software.
Yeah. Zoom meetings.
They're doing it. They're doing the nightmare scenario. I mean, it is... Okay, so participants must attend an orientation on the day of the event to learn the procedures and to test their connection. And the number of participants is around 40 people. I hate this idea. If I was in charge of this segment, I'd be so stressed. Because you can give them orientation as much as you want. You cannot control them when their mic is live. Like, that's...
Yeah.
It's just like radio, though. When you have a caller, like,
I know.
Hello, you're calling in.
But that's...
Oh, he's about to say something bad. Here's a delay. Turn on the button.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's a difference, because there's no button like that on Zoom. You have to do the awkward, like, okay, ban him. Let's kick him out of the... Can we kick... And knowing how they deal with sound during these shows... I don't know if they have a kill switch. So, and also they probably don't even broadcast on a delay. So, I don't know.
Be a mistake.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake. So, pro tip: broadcast on a delay. Broadcast on a delay, please. There's, this. I mean, it'll be a cringe fest, and we're gonna cover it. So,
yes.
I'm not looking forward to that. But, what if we see someone from our community ask a question, and then they ask, like, something stupid?
Well, then we would disavow them.
You should be like, hey, shout out to one of my favorite content creators, speakers. So, like, when do you bring back 1.0?
No! Oh my god, don't even... Rollo, don't joke about that. They are gonna do it.
All eyes will be on us, and they'll DM us personally. Like, stop sending your people over.
Oh God. Yes. So questions will be reviewed, and participants will be selected based on the submissions. Select participants will be contacted via email. Register to their Square Enix account by Wednesday, May 12th, 2021. There's so many, like, because they know what they're doing. Like, they know that this is a fucking risk. So there's so many additional requirements and information. Like, you must ask the exact same question you submitted via the submission form. We will not accept a different question or any additional questions. Which
I want to know how they can vet that.
they cannot vet that. There is no way.
Pinky promise.
Yeah. I feel like the fact that they say that you need to own a Final Fantasy XIV account maybe they can threaten you with that to be like.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But it's free to make an account.
Yeah. What is
It's free to make an
It has to
account.
be. Yeah, but it has to be active.
Yes, it has to be an active account. We'll be using Zoom software for this event. You must download and install the Zoom software for either PC, smartphone, or a tablet with a working video camera.
Oh yeah, a tablet.
Hello,
Yoshi-P.
everyone.
Definitely like get it on your phone and just make like the loud tapping sounds like
Yeah.
hello. Am I on?
Can someone please participate with like just the shittiest potato quality? I would love that. Like 2005 webcam.
I want to see 5 pixels on your face at most. Please.
Oh God. You are required to have a working video camera to show your face and must have the camera on during the duration of the live Q&A event. Oh God, and it's going to be like, I can already see it. So Zoom has allowed people to be like lazy, like about like designing stuff. They just literally show like a screen recording of the whole call and that's it. And I can see it now. I see.
Maybe they'll wrap it up. Maybe.
Okay. All right. I'll be very impressed if they do that. If they actually try to make it look nice. But I can just see them just like awkwardly like sitting there waiting. Someone picking their nose. Someone's like in bed. Someone just having a snack.
I don't think they will have everyone visible.
No, because that's like a thing on Zoom. Like, why? I know this is an old discussion, but I know that this is going to happen, and I'm going to call it. We should have like a bingo card for like all the people that appear on the Zoom call. Like, someone will be slouched over in a couch. Someone will be eating. Someone will be doing something else. So like half out of the frame. Like
There'll be a crowd in one of them too. There'll be like an entire family on the couch or something.
Unmade bed in the background, and also just a lot of just everything. There's people on Zoom just lose. I don't know.
According to this, there's not allowed to be a crowd.
Oh yeah, you are the only one allowed to participate in the event. Please refrain from participating with several people. Yes. So there you go. People drinking wine, and then someone is probably going to have like a phone call during, so you can see them like talking on the phone.
I want all this to happen. I want it so badly.
Yeah, that's how Zoom works, and I genuinely wonder why. It's so interesting because we're kind of used to being on camera, but like it's like when people had to be on Zoom, they're like, oh yeah, I'm at work, but I'm home. So I can do whatever I want, baby.
Stand up with only my underwear. I have my dress
so
shirt
fascinating. Like I've been in Zoom calls where people are literally in their bed. What the fuck, dude? We can see you. You're at work. Don't get out of your fucking bed.
This is slightly an aside, but there's a popular radio show here, and as a bit, they tried to see how long it would take this like really old dude to get onto their Zoom call, because all the hosts are at their homes. Now they do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
Right.
It took them half an hour and they had to talk to him over the phone. It's like, listen, just click the link, click the button right here with your camera not on. Enter the password. And the old man just starts saying the password out loud on the radio.
Oh my god. Anyways, there you go. That is. They say at the bottom here. Square Enix, in its sole discretion, may remove any person from the event if any inappropriate comment or behavior is observed. So,
really,
wow, what a surprise! I thought you'd keep them there. So there you go. That's the Q&A. I can.
There's a question. There's one like condition here. We may not be able to get through all participants' questions depending on the time available for the event. Approximately 40 participants with an hour scheduled for this. They're not getting through all of the people.
No. Yeah. Okay. Let's jump into the spoiler cast portion. So if you haven't done, we're gonna start with Nier. So make sure you have done Nier before watching. All right. So we
There's a big gap between the first siren and the second one.
no, I think that's just because I don't know. Well, it's to give people time to turn off. That's we're forced to do that so that otherwise people be like, oh, you said the warning and then you went straight into the spoiler. I was having a shit. So that's why. That's for the people at the toilet, listening at the toilet, and that have to like wipe and get to their computer and mute. That's why they're supposed to. Now we've given you a lot of time. So if you're still on the shitter right now and you're panicking, this is on you.
Panic wipe, hurry.
All right, let's jump into Nier. Far wherever you are. It is impossible not to think that when I say Nier.
I know.
Yeah.
I have to read it so many times.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have to ask out the gate.
Uh-huh.
As you two people who have, you've played Automata, and I'm assuming you at least vaguely remember it.
Yeah.
You've never played Drakengard 1 or 3, and just now getting through the Nier remake.
Yeah.
What the fuck did you think was happening? I want to know what you got from this.
Well, it's weird because I haven't thought about what's happening in the raid. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
I'm like, oh, I recognize this place. I recognize that boss. But why is it happening? And what is the end? The ending specifically is like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing there. Yeah.
I should remind people too. Apparently, this is all canon. Everything that happened here is it is canon to Nier.
Yeah.
If you're
our
a lore
game.
yes,
They wanted to reassure us that it's also canon to 14.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll probably we'll definitely get into more of this when we get through to the story. Yeah, because that is a lot of. There's been some criticism about this specific point for the raid. Is that if you haven't played Drakengard and all of Nier, the raids are nonsense. It's just a bunch of nonsense that makes no sense.
Like, you go from fighting some android robot things, to like I guess there's the salt goddess. There you go. Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah,
they're there too.
Yeah.
So, the first two bosses I can justify, even if you don't know much about Nier, just by saying we're inside a program. They don't necessarily have to make sense.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Okay, but let's jump into the story, and then we'll discuss all the actual raid when we get to it.
Enjoy your weekly jump scare, by the way. That's mandatory.
Oh yeah. All right.
See, I didn't get that. I feel like I must have blinked when it happened the first time.
Well, how'd you miss it?
Yeah, it's definitely there. It's anyways, okay. So story. We're getting back to Comra. So the villagers in the village are still angry at the twins, and Anog is still missing. Konog has locked himself away in the tunnels. He also has a fever now. Oh yeah. You undress his head. Which what does that mean, Georgi?
They gave him the same hair color.
Oh right,
as
Devil and
Popola.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing. They're supposed to Anog and Konog are supposed to be representative of Deviler and Popola in this
Yes.
story.
Mm-hmm. So we lay him to bed, and then we get the chief. Konog. When we return, Konog is missing. Cut 2B. Watching over an unconscious 9S when they are approached by an unknown person. Cut back. You're asking around the village, looking for Konog. You go to the bunker and look for him, and there you find him unconscious near that big egg or the moth ball. I don't know what it looks like. A moth ball.
If you want to be snobby, you can call it a seed of destruction.
All right.
Okay.
Near the seed of destruction. The egg then starts spawning.
The seed of destruction, thank you.
Sorry, the seed of destruction starts spawning numerous 2 Panasonics. And that's 2P for those that are not in the know. Isn't that canon? That it's 2 Panasonic? Rolla, didn't we have this discussion already?
Yeah, because 2P was in Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah.
And when they asked what 2P meant, Yoko Taro stands for Panasonic. So,
oh my god. 2 Panasonic. So we Anog, 2B, and 9S run in. And then, oh god, yeah, they start screaming the 2Ps, and then they just don't they get sucked into the egg? Or is that 2P? Or am I thinking
they just
about
start
Anog?
vanishing.
Oh, they just start
You're thinking of
disappearing.
later.
Oh yeah, sorry,
You're
yes I
thinking
am.
of later on,
Yeah, I am. Yeah. They turn into mist. The egg, the seed of destruction disappears, and the alien mothership then starts to crumble. Once outside, the tower has now appeared. The big tower.
Mm-hmm.
The end of Nier Automata. Is this also linked to Drakengard, the tower?
Not that I can remember.
Okay.
I've only played 1 and 3. I haven't played 2, so
All right. There's
But I
just
think
so
it's
much.
common.
Just so much overlap with all the games. So some things just repeat in all the games.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2B and 9S has come to save this world. Oh yeah, they sort of.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I had to include that because I was like, why?
Yeah.
Since when?
Yeah. That's the thing that they say. They don't say. Is it alluded to, or do they just straight out say it? I don't remember this part.
They do.
Yeah, they just say it. Yeah. The chief then carries Konog back to the village. Also, we should probably now mention that when you return to the village, you can look at the tower, and it is a small tower. It is so small. It is clearly a miniature. They've struggled with the scale of things, and I've always struggled with the scale of what's it called in Kalusha? Not Limsa, but Yulmore. Yulmore looks too small for its the distance that it's supposed to. Yeah, it doesn't look right. And this definitely looks wrong. It's very small. Very, very small.
They got it right with Limsa, though. Like,
Yeah.
Limsa does look about the size it should be.
Yes, I agree.
I thought you were going to bring up Wanderer's Palace, especially considering
Oh,
we
yeah.
fly up to it.
Yeah, Wanderer's Palace, too, is a great example of, scale being off.
The Arboretum is another thing that is too small for what it is, unless it's just very, very, very deep.
Yeah.
It's cool to see in the overworld, though. I kind of almost wish we just didn't see in the overworld at all. I think if you just had like the cave, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's just farther off into the you can't see it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, you'll only be able to see it before you finish the story, because afterwards it disappears. So there you go. Now Let's talk about the tower at Paradigm's Breach.
Is there a reason for that name, Rollo?
I haven't thought about it in all honesty,
Okay.
but nothing really came to mind when I heard it.
Okay.
Maybe the Japanese title might have some different insight, but I got nothing.
All right.
So
What?
I have other
Right.
things.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm assuming we'll get to it as we progress through the tower here, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we enter. So you just break in, Rollo, when you have anything about.
Actually.
Yeah. Actually. All right. So we start at the stair well in the tower, which is, I would say, almost exactly as it appeared in Nier Automata. We walk up the stairs, and you have to like activate like what I don't even know what it's called, but to open the door's locked.
Mhm.
So you have
We have to hack
Ninus
inside.
Ninus just hacks it.
right. That's what it is. And we are instantly thrown into a battle with the Knave of Hearts, or sorry, Knave of Hearts. It used to be called Jack of Hearts.
Yeah.
In original Nier. This fight.
I liked a lot of the fights in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like just mechanically, I thought they were all really good.
How did you feel about this one though? How does this? Because I feel like this fight, it's all right, but it has too few mechanics. Like he starts repeating way too soon, in my humble opinion. He does the push, and then he does the either middle or side thing, and of course there's always balls. And then he does a duplicate, and then they do the same thing, and then that just sort of repeats until he's dead.
It's the first boss.
Yeah, I know. That's true.
I like stacking the deck as a move name.
Yeah. It's also fun to see people doing it for the first time when he does the pushback, because it makes sense that you're hiding behind the barrier because there's something coming towards you. You think maybe he's going to do damage. So seeing people just fly off, that's quite fun. But other than that, I think it's just an okay fight. It's an okay start fight, I think. Yes. So after leaving the Knave of Hearts, we progress through the memory thing, right? This is like the hack. That's the thing we're walking on from now on. Is like that's what it looks like when you're hacking in the game, in Nier Automata, when you're like the little ship.
Yes, you do the thing, which I'm surprised they did it. They put it in the game.
Yes.
It functions. It seems to.
Well, you're talking about the actual mini game. It's a mini game.
The actual hacking.
Yeah. That's part of the Red
boss.
Girl.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay. So Hansel and Gretel. They are.
I've seen a lot of people originally think that this is. A lot of people get into this fight and think that it's supposed to be trash.
Oh yeah, because you look at them and you're like, oh.
But they're so cool. I think they look
very
really cool.
Well, it's not that it's people realize it's not trash. It's just the fact that the first two bosses, you go through two bosses before you even get to a group of trash in this dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very strangely like made where the trash is before the third and fourth boss. It's not normally that late.
Right. Yeah. This fight, we've talked about how they usually you can tell what rig a boss is using, right? They always reuse rigs, but it seems like Hansel and Gretel are unique.
Are these not the Biblio whatever ones? Bibliotaps? One from
That is very possible, actually.
Oh yeah, the
book one, the big book. You know.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the final boss of
Library.
Yeah, library normal.
Yeah. That's just a hunch, so I haven't looked that closely. So
that's possible, actually. But they do move in a weird way. I don't know if that's how he moves. I need to see him again to
Yeah.
know.
Hansel and Gretel are very jiggly.
They're very jiggly, and they look really cool. They have some interesting mechanics. It is a bit long.
Yes, this is the fight that kind of dragged on a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It's been out for a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
Everything's going to take long, I feel like.
Yeah, it's true.
Having done it a couple of times, I actually think it's gotten faster.
It is slowly getting faster. So yeah, that's it has a cool like swap mechanic, and also I like. Now we started playing Nier, the new Nier. The remaster of Nier Replicant, and we just did Hansel and Gretel yesterday, and it's really fun seeing how they implemented the shield mechanic in, because they literally do that in the game. Like one of them will shield, and then you have to attack the other. It's very true to how they worked in the original Nier. There's also that swap mechanic that I mentioned, where there's like a tether that shows like their colors, and then you have to be like, okay, now they're gonna swap because they attack in like an X. I don't even know what shape it is.
They always attack on the side that they have their axe.
Yeah. Yes. So other than that, it's a all right fight, I think.
Oh yeah. Chat, that's a great point, chat. Whoever is tanking the boss, whichever of Hansel and Gretel that is shielding, face them towards the group, so that way your white mages won't get automatically hurt when they use a side.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay. Moving on from there, we get to... Is this when we get on the lift, or is that after the clones?
Later.
Okay.
This is actually hacking a second door with the with the first set of trash and then the third boss.
Okay, right. So now we've come to some trash mobs. Just 2P clones and some some of those, what are those flying things? Those things, the flying things. Which is,
I think,
the only trash.
Oh, the flight units. Okay, sorry.
The flight units. There you go. Yeah.
I think if I remember right, in this fight, all the 2Ps scream like or shout like the intoners do in Drakengard 3, which is such a weird thing to include. So
okay.
a little fun fact.
Yeah. See, he does. There's just a lot of just random references everywhere. Yeah. So there you go. Kill the trash. And then
their bodies stay up.
Yeah, they do. That's true.
And then they all transform into red girls.
Yes, they turn into red girls, and that brings us to the next boss, Red Girl.
Can you explain for people what Red Girl is, Rollo?
Hold on, before you do that, Rollo, this is very important. When you fight the 2P trash, there is one of them that's called 2PP. Because of the letter system.
All right.
So just keep an eye out for that. I want you to kill that last, okay? Let's just make sure that's marked as like a cross. Do not attack. Save for last. And then everyone gather around and then kill it together. Okay. Yes, Rollo. Red Girl.
Okay. This is spoilers for Automata. And I guess I can say, probably the biggest revelation about this raid, if you guys particularly care. So the Red Girl is like supposed to be kind of like a representation of the machine life forms from Automata, kind of coming together to form a consciousness or an evolved consciousness or something like that. But the big kicker here is that on the actual, like the weekly raid drop coins.
Yeah.
So if you read the raid drop coins, I forgot what the gosh coin is called, but it mentions the vault. And the vault is it ending D for Automata, or I think it's ending, I don't know. It's the one where you launch the thing into space.
Okay, yeah.
And so
it's the one. I thought that was C.
Is it C? It's the one where it's
The
the
letter
9S.
the letter doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
the ending where you send the thing up into space.
yeah, and so
Fighter's 9S.
I can't remember, honestly. But the big thing is that, like, okay, so it's literally an arc for the machine life form, so they can live happily ever after in space, away from Earth. And somehow people think that perhaps the satellites that came from Earth literally came to specifically the first.
Mhm.
And that's why the eggs start, not the eggs, the seeds of destruction from Drakengard 1, which is, they were called like the eggs of, or seeds of rejuvenation or resurrection, because they thought that's like, if you put someone in there, it'll save them or something, it'll help them out.
Uh-huh.
In fact, it does not do that. It just brings about the end of the world. And basically, if you see a seed of destruction somewhere, bad things are about to start happening because that world's about to fucking end. And so I'm
It's a bit
guessing,
late for the first.
I'm guessing that's what 2B and 9S came here to try and stop. That they somehow chased them across the galaxy to the first. I'm trying so hard.
Yeah, I know.
It implies that they're from a different dimension. Like the arc, based on what you're saying, the arc like tore a rift that resulted in it being the first.
I guess somehow. I don't know.
We'll talk about this more later, because remember, Anog says she needs to go to the other side to help out. So it's more of a dimensional travel thing than space travel.
Yeah, but the big thing is that AI red girl that's the boss, like that's the machine life form consciousness, and it has come to the first.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. I tried.
The reason we have to bring this up, because normally we could shrug this off as being like, oh, it's a cross. No. This is canon. This is real. So yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. That's thank you, Rollo. Red Girl. Let's talk about the fight itself. This one brings what?
Mm-hmm.
It's very good.
It is. It brings back the hacking mechanic, my favorite, where you have to match a black and white. Well, you don't have to, but you have to find the right match, because black destroys white and white destroys black, and then you have to hide behind the correct ones to not get fucked. That's a cool mechanic. There's also the chain mechanic where she like chains players and her own red girls, throwing them around, so you have to like figure out where they're going to end up. Yeah, it's a fun fight. I know it also feels like it's just long enough. I've never felt like it's gone on for too long.
Yeah. I feel like it's actually kind of difficult. It's hard for me to keep track of the stuff. Maybe I'll get better at it, but it's a lot to take in, and there's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, which part specifically did you have trouble with?
I think just keeping track of tethers, honestly. Once you get like the hiding behind or trying to line of sight the bombs for the right colors, I think that's easy. But boy, is it punishing with the fucking just insta kill.
Yeah.
If you can't do it right.
Yeah. So Red Girl defeated. We didn't mention the elevator boss, but it's not a boss. It's like a trash boss. It's like a mini boss, right? Which
it's the same as the tank and the flight unit from Copy Factory.
Yeah.
What's really cool too.
Yeah,
like they recreated the actual fight from Automata pretty well.
Yeah.
Like the visuals of like the tower in the background.
Yeah.
Which apparently makes me really sick.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. It's very unfortunately made for people with motion sickness. They can't really look at the bosses. They have to look downwards at the arena.
Yeah. Okay. Zunji and Mengshi. Who's that again?
The two robots.
They're not anything in particular from like Nier. They're just Confucius philosophers. So I don't
It's
know why.
it's like how a bunch of machine life forms are named after philosophers.
Yeah,
Why do I not remember these?
because they weren't
The
called
two
that.
The two orbs? Wow.
Dude,
You know the two round robots? They're the ones we're talking
Oh,
about right
sorry.
now.
That's what they're
Yeah.
called. Ugh.
Yeah, that's their names.
I have
Yeah.
never looked at their names. I have
They-
never
but they-
looked at their names.
I will say, I remembered one of the names. I needed to do the raid to look up to remember the other
Okay,
one.
I would have. Okay, I just called it the elevator boss. I had no idea what they were called. Okay, I thought this must be a very forgettable boss encounter because I can't
It's
remember
not a
them.
boss. It's
trash.
trash. That's why.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as Taylor has said, he doesn't like that it repeats mechanics from the first boss.
Right? Yeah, that's
Uh.
true. Okay. And so we arrive at the final boss.
Can you explain this opening cutscene first, Rollo? Before you get to the second part, explain the part where all the red girls appear and then they make the horrible face and then they get sucked up into the seed of destruction.
I have nothing fucking for you, Yorgi. There is. I cannot tell you why they brought the Salt Lady from the joke ending of Drakengard 1 and also the weird Intoner boss from 3, and they mixed it with 2B. I can't tell you. I don't know why they kill you with public transportation either.
What a fight! What a fucking fight!
Well,
Yeah. Okay. We'll start. Let's just take it from the top.
two parts to this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the false idol part of the fight.
Okay, so the false idol is a boss.
Yes.
What it's I don't even know where to begin with this. Like, okay, so I didn't even remember where it because I'm also I just want to say this first part. I don't think the song starts before part 2, but I have received an alarming amount of DMs from people that are very upset that I said "Clock ran away" last week, and I have completely destroyed the song.
Here's the thing: you said that in the post show. So if you don't explain it, you won't ruin it for everyone.
No. Ruin it for everybody right now. You have the power.
No, I
suggest that
don't
you
want
don't.
any more. I don't want any more DMs. I don't want it.
Not enough DMs just from the post show. You don't need to watch the YouTube video as well.
No. I'm not. I won't spread that curse on you. If you like the song, then that's fine. All right. I love the song, by the way, but I mean, obviously, it's been ruined for me.
But yes, it only plays during the inflorescence part of the fight. It doesn't play the false idol.
So, because I get very confused as to what is the false idol face? What happens in it even?
Cloud of Darkness one. It's the one that uses the model for the Cloud of Darkness. One of the first mechanics she uses, she makes the spinning beam, and to tell which direction the beam is going to move, you have to pay attention to the way it's rotating.
Right, it does all this stuff. Yeah, okay, yeah. There's that spinning thing, which is really neat. I like that. First time we did that, I had no idea what was happening, and then when I finally realized, I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure out how this works now, and then that phase was over, so I didn't I didn't actually learn it. But it's cool. There's also the rhythm mini game, the with the balls in the hole.
Yeah.
There's does she do the things falling down from the falling pillars thing?
That's the second phase.
God, what fucking happens in the first phase? Must be shit compared to the second phase.
The first phase has white noise or white note and black note. White note is the one, I think.
Where's the brown note?
No, there's no brown note. Shut up. The white note is the one where it will pick 3 random people. It might be a reason for why it picks people, but it picks 3 people, and then they will have their AoE marker beneath them will have arrows pointing in 2 directions, and that will determine which way the sort of exaflares come out from the AoE that hits them.
Hmm.
And then black note is just lighter note and darker note. Thank you.
Right.
Dark note is just a tank buster.
Okay. There you go. The end of that leads into the second phase where the false idol.
She comes out the fucking portal.
Yeah.
The same portal the fucking babies come out of.
Her inflorescence comes out. Why do you say babies?
Because the Watchers, they're big babies that come out the sky out of these red portals. And it's the same portal. And you're in Japan where the fucking white chlorination big salt lady comes down and kills everyone in Japan.
It's all canon. This is all canon. Okay. Anyways.
I don't know what her inflorescence is supposed to be originally, Rollo.
Okay, so on the most surface of surface references, this is based on a Drakengard 1 boss from Ending E, which is the one that leads into Nier and Nier Automata, where you, the main character of Drakengard 1, which is, I forgot his name, sorry, is it Kane? Something like that. And his nice dragon girlfriend, Kaim, that's it. They fuck, that's canon.
We have that.
Well,
now,
we have that in
too.
14, so it's fine.
Yeah, so see?
Yeah.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
It's like...
So he goes through the big baby portal from his world into Japan, where he beats the boss, which is a big lady made of salt, who
Is she
sends
actually
out,
made of salt?
basically, she's just a big white powdery lady with like her tongue sticking, and she's like, eh.
Yeah, I've...
Yeah.
And she said, and you got to play a rhythm game to beat her. That's why you have the white and black rings. And then the dragon and the guy is shot down by the Japanese Defense Force. And that's why Nier happens.
Okay.
And that's what she looks like. Not exactly, but she's a big salt lady in Japan.
I will say, I don't know why she exists still. Was she already there when they went through the portal?
Actually, I don't remember. I think the Watchers bring over the big salt lady, or I think it's implied in Drakengard 3 that Zero was the big salt lady, or is that an alternate version of Ending E? I'm sorry, it's been a while. It's something fucking ridiculous.
I don't even know what to say. Okay. I'm just going to isolate everything you've said and just focus on the fight. Okay. So, why is she made of salt?
Because I don't know, but if you touch the salt, you die.
All right, I'm not gonna. No follow-up questions, Your Honor. I'm moving on. Her inflorescence. This fight is wild. Because
Very fun.
yes.
Yeah, it is.
We must address the trains.
That's where you're going to start?
I don't know. There's so much to talk about in this fight. There's the fucking building. There's... Okay, let's talk about the most basic shit. Like, there's some pillars falling down. It's like the pushback mechanic. You push back and forth, and then they will lean one way or the other, and you dodge that. Okay? We can comprehend that. That's fine. Then there's trains.
I don't know why there's trains there. There was no trains in I guess because it's in Japan. There's just trains.
Oh God, we're in.
It does sound a lot like I'm in Japan when I hear that sound.
The fucking Tokyo Expressway coming right at you. The fucking mag. Well, I think these are like the interstate trains or something. I don't know. No clue why they're there.
It's just they're just trains, and it is what it is. You have to dodge some trains, and you can tell where they're coming from by there's a light, you know, the red, green, almost said red, green, blue, red, yellow, green. You know how it works.
There's no
I think
yellow.
there's no yellow. This is not a traffic light. It's a train light. So it's red or
Yeah.
black.
Trains don't have
A black light.
trains.
A black light, yeah.
Trains don't need the amber light. There is no prepare to stop.
They
for
have
trains.
white lights, which I want to drive a train. So you have to dodge the trains, and then, which is fairly easy. But there's also like a train coming in, and then there's mobs coming out of the train, like little red girls coming out of the
Red
train.
girls, yeah.
And then the trains vomit red balls at you.
No, the trains don't. The girls do.
Oh, sorry. You know, I am so focused on not trying to lose my mind in this fight that I don't even know where the balls are coming from. Okay, the girls are vomiting balls as they come out of the train. You have to dodge them. Do they just go back in the train?
They do eventually just go back in the train and leave.
And then they leave. Trains have yellow lights. There you go. They do. They do, because it means slow down. Because there might be a change of light further ahead. There might be a red light coming up. There you go.
Yeah, you might hit a Warrior of Light if you don't watch it.
Yeah.
I did look it up now. I got it right. The big salt lady is called a Queen Beast. That's who I was thinking of.
Queen Beast.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you explain why she's called the inflorescence here? Her inflorescence.
No, I got nothing for you.
Well, let's also talk about the fact that she will also summon a building from below that has SQEX on it.
Yeah. I think it's just SQE, but yeah, it's they're throwing a Square Enix building at you, which
a building that is labeled with Square Enix, but is not actually the Square Enix building.
Well, this I feel like is because they have to take some creative license here. I don't think anyone would be like, okay, you're gonna recreate our building in full detail to be slammed into. Like, I think they just took generic building and then slapped 3 letters on it to make it, you know. It's the Square Enix. It's supposed to be the Square Enix building, which isn't a real building because they share it with other people. There is no Square Enix building. There is a building they exist in, but it's not the Square Enix building. It is building with many companies, including Square Enix. But
can we just talk about how it's a funny mechanic?
It's a funny mechanic because you have to look down to see where it'll hit, which is interesting.
And if you get hit, people that get hit go flying off the edge.
It's like some Team Rocket shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
Oh, okay. Chad is right. It's called inflorescence because of the flower in Zero's eye from Drakengard 3. There you go. Because she has a flower.
Don't say that like that's an explanation.
Yeah. Do you see how I just looked over at Georgi? Like, okay, more information. But there is none. There is no more information.
That's the thing. That's her thing. She has a big flower in her eye that makes
Why?
her turn. I can't do this. I can't tell you.
Okay. All right.
But not like Undertale flowering evil. It's just an evil flower.
Okay. It's an evil flower. It's fine. It's fine. It's an evil flower. Okay. We defeat her. And that's that. That's the end of the raid.
It's just silence.
Yeah, there is just silence. How do you feel about the flower was also trying to destroy the world? Yeah, so I mean, that's all we need to know.
Distracted.
Yeah, sorry, but I need more information. I secretly need more information about this flower.
Play every Drakengard game. Now you're doing Nier. Go play. Don't play one. Don't play one.
Don't play
one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sorry. Yes. So yes. How do you feel about the the raid compared to the others? Where does this rank for you? Anyone?
I think it's on the same level gameplay wise for me as the Puppets Bunker.
Okay. So what's your top one? Which one's the best one of the three for you?
Well, I don't have a best one. I think they're equal for me. I have a bottom one, which is the Copy Factory.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't like the Coffee Factory?
No, it's too.
I like it the least.
Oh, okay.
It's because by the time you're done with the second boss, it already feels too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Angles is the worst. Angles is the worst boss in all three of these raids.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was a decent end to the raid series. But again, we probably have to say this again. This type of raid where you kind of have to be in the know, like know most of the game's story to get everything out of it. I don't know if I like that. It's the same problem it's kind of like a worse. We kind of had a similar problem with Omega. With like the references to 6 and to all the other. Was it just 6? No, it was multiple.
I did multiple ones.
Yeah, multiple ones.
There's 5 and 6.
Yeah,
5 and 6.
It was. It's like a visually and mechanically, it's an interesting fight. But if you haven't played any other games, you won't know what the fuck's happening. The game isn't helping you because the game sort of treats whatever happens in the raid as like its own thing, and they don't really talk about what just fucking happened. They're just like, oh yeah, that happened in there. Anyways, so where's Anog? Like that's how the story is told.
Yeah. It's
if you don't know what this is, if you don't know anything about Nier or Drakengard, the most you can really take away from it is that this seed of destruction, which you don't even know is called that, is bad, and we have to stop it.
Right.
Yeah.
For most people, that white round, the seed of destruction, is just a mothball or an egg. Like, it means nothing.
It's so bizarre. As a Nier Drakengard person, whatever, I love it. I think this is great. I have lots of fun just digging through it, seeing little references, picking up on all the small details. I think that's cool. I didn't get them all because these games are fucking wacko. But I loved it. It was cool. I don't know if people felt like that for the Ivalice raids because I only played tactics. There wasn't as much tactics.
That's an interesting comparison because I feel like they did a better job with Return to Ivalice because they at least tried to make it part of our world. Like they tried to explain what was happening in the raid, whereas in Nier it's just detached.
The Ivalice raids are weird because they take lore that already exists, and they twist it to make little sense if you've played the original game. But I will say, at least during Rabanasta, Ivalice was quite dense. I think as the raid, once Ritterana came out, it made more sense within our world. The Nier raid starts off quite shallow and becomes way too dense at the end to really follow.
Yeah. I feel like we have to do the weekly stuff to like fully get what's going on.
Yes.
Because it, like some people said in chat, it does end a little bit anticlimactic.
Yes.
Where 2B or Anog, no.
Konog.
Little black.
Konog.
Yeah. He, they go through the portal. Oh wait, no.
Let's just go through the summary.
Okay, let's go through the summary. We'll get to it. All right. So, we need to close this portal that's been left behind after we've killed the boss. So to close it, Anog passes through to the other side to help 2B and 9S. So
for some reason.
Yeah, and she leaves us with a letter for Konog.
She invites us to smash.
Yes.
Yeah.
2B and 9S are now left just motionless on the ground, and the pod explains.
Just floats in.
Yeah, he just comes in
From
here. He's
nowhere.
like, "Hello." The pod explains that they were brought to the first by the orb's power, and then after the portal is closed, they all disappear, including the tower.
Go through the baby portal. Why?
The baby portal.
The Ark is taking them back, Rollo.
Yeah. So and now you're like, okay, a lot just fucking happened in this raid. What the fuck? Anyways, Chief asks that you inform Konog of Anog's disappearance. Okay, we're back to this story now. We're not going to debrief on what we just experienced.
No,
we have to care about this.
You don't have to think about any of that. It'll erase itself from existence.
Yes.
It's gone.
Yes. So Konog is left anguished by the letter, unable to face the village. He asks us to return a watch belonging to the chief's wife, which the whole dwarf story is annoying because they're so stupid and stubborn and dumb.
Well, see, it's supposed to be an allegory for how humans treated Deviler and Popola.
Yeah, I know.
Which is like, it's supposed to say, we're dumb.
Yeah, I know. But it's a lot. It's a lot.
The Popola and Deviler analog thing is bizarre and has some very strange implications.
Yeah.
Which I hope they maybe follow up on in some of the little side things, because
yeah,
if they're remotely related to Popola and Deviler, like actually that would be fucking insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So you return to the tunnels with the chief. Konog is now gone. We need to wrap up because we have Werlyt as well.
I know. But like Deviler and Anog and Konog disappeared from nowhere.
Yes.
In lore. So
yeah. So we return to the tunnels. Konog is gone. He's left a note behind, and the chief is sad. The villagers still want someone to blame, and angry at the villagers, the chief runs away. Which the chief is he is perhaps the most annoying character to me, because because they are having like this meeting with, I know they are all horrible people, but every time they're close to like a resolution, he's like, I've had it, and then he runs off. You're never gonna get anything done, chief, if you run away. So he runs away and he blames them for driving the twins out, but he's determined to rebuild the village, and thus we get our weekly quest series. There's also this like Doom, the one dwarf that's like all doom and gloom. I don't remember what it's called. Something Doom.
Doomsaying dwarf.
Yeah, which is like it offers to help, I think, in rebuilding the village. So there you go. That opens up a new quest chain of weekly. We will not cover that here because it's not done yet. So we'll get back to that when it's all wrapped up. And that concludes it. Now we can talk about its like the whole arc. How do you feel about this whole thing? This experience, ignoring the weekly quest, because we obviously don't know how. We technically don't have the full ending, but we're gonna have to take it as it is right now. This is the base experience.
This is a full-on weekly too. You can't like just do it one after another. And,
No,
like, it's catching up. You got to come back every week.
Yes.
I
like
it. Like I said, as a Drakengard Nier person, I think it's very cool. I like some questions it raises about both games, sort of.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre in 14. It's very, very strange. It's such a strange fit.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, but it's still weird, and I can see if you were not in the know of that stuff, this meant nothing to you.
Right. Yeah.
I know it doesn't like. I know like you guys aren't like ambivalent towards it exactly, but you aren't deep in there. So like,
Yeah.
I am really curious. Like, what do you get from this on that?
Well, I had a good. I've liked it all overall. I've had fun doing the raids, and I recognize most of what we've encountered. I think it was just this last part that really got me like, okay.
Yeah, they go off the wall.
Yeah, like there's just a lot. This is just a reference fest. But I didn't hate it. It's not this. But I kind of now feel, because when we had this last discussion last time was with Omega, a lot of people were complaining about feeling left out because they didn't understand the references. There was especially one reference to Cayenne at the end of Phantom Train, with the the train departing with his wife and child on it. And
yes, that's strange if you don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
You're just like, what?
But
What
if you've played 6, you know what that means. But now I understand how that feels when there's like a reference in the raid that people are like, oh, it's the thing, and then you're like, what?
See, this one does not hold your hand at all.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
with some stuff, like with some Leavely stuff, they're kind of like, oh, but this is such and such. So
Yeah.
such and such, and you did this and that.
Yeah.
But here it's like, do you know what that is?
In fact,
no?
in Return to Evil East, they will literally do a lore dump. They'll be like, okay, story time.
Yeah.
And then they just show you like a lot of lore.
I was gonna say, yeah, like Woolhead just gets all these ideas and like, there's not enough space.
Right.
Here's an NPC.
yes. Yeah. There you go. I think it's all right, but I feel like I think this one is more detached than any of the other raids. This one feels like the disconnect is way greater. And this is not the kind of raid that I prefer the Evil East approach, where they actually they try to make it like more understandable and they explain things that you might not know. I thought Omega would be like, because Omega was the first one that was like that, right? But this one is heaps and bounds.
I think Omega was worse than this because you were just presented things with literally no, like a blurb of a sentence for like this. It's this.
Yeah.
Go fight them.
And
it strictly says this is a simulation from another dimension, and it's like
yes, but at least in Omega that is explained as this is just a thing that I've picked up.
That's the extent of Omega. There are lore implications behind it, but you don't understand them.
Right.
In Omega, there is no lore behind them, and it's fine if you don't get them.
Yes. Remember this?
Well,
technically, Omega is supposed to be canon, right? So they're sort of in the same realm. Omega is the real Omega. So what happened in all of Final Fantasy lore, but
yeah,
but he was just showing us like flashes from from different worlds. So it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know.
In all honesty, though, I wouldn't know how you would do a Nier-ish raid in this game.
No,
without it kind of like, you know what? This should have been strictly a Nier Gestalt raid. Like maybe like hint at some Automata stuff because there's a reason why those games are connected, and I won't spoil why because the remake just came out.
Yeah.
But if it had started out with like, okay, we're in this like the rural-ish town area going through maybe like the Lost Shrine area, and like it's presented within context as in like these are things in these areas. You're learning about that, and then maybe at the end it's like, oh, here's the puppets bunker, something like that,
right?
And you could be like, oh. But
but they're not going to do that because Automata's the one that sells.
Yeah, that's true.
the remake's out now.
The remake is out. So
Well, that's why this raid has replicant bosses in it.
yeah. It's not a bad raid at all. It's just I think the fights are really good. It's like
The raid is.
yeah.
I think this is probably the best raid combat-wise that we've had outside of Engels.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the gear too. I mean, some of it's like a little samey, but they're all dyeable, which I think is very nice.
I think that the first two raids have gear that is too similar.
Yeah.
I think it depends on your gender.
That's true.
Yeah.
Between the genders.
All right, we need to move on. We're gonna have to talk about Werlyt, and we're gonna eat into the post show, but we need to get this done. Let's move on to Werlyt.
Do the weekly cast. Maybe it'll give you some resolution.
Yes. All right. Gear change. We're going to Werlyt.
Werlyt's fucking great. I loved it.
Yes. Some. Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, so we start off. Oh yeah, we start with Minago. That's how it really.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
The queen, if you remember her.
Yes. Yeah. That's it was funny because they give you like slightly similar names to be like, oh, do you remember her names? Like Minago, Mangano. There's just I thought that was funny. She is acting as a representative for the Alamegan Resistance. Oh yeah, they're supplying arms to the Werlyt Revolutionaries, which Gaius is in charge of. And she asks you to join her. Ali has returned to the 7th Legion headquarters to try and rescue Alphonse, because that's an ongoing thing. Gaius suspects that she's going to try and commandeer the final weapon to achieve this. Voldalin reports that an unknown weapon has gone on a rampage, laying waste to the 7th Legion. Severo suggests using the chaos as a screen for the revolutionaries to attack, while Gaius does not want to place them in harm's way. God, this is a lot of stuff to recap. So that's where we are right now. There is reports that a weapon has gone on a rampage, which, I mean, that's the weapon. A diamond. Were you surprised? Well, we'll get to it. So earlier, Ali negotiates with Valens that in exchange for piloting the diamond weapon and helping him to topple Xenos as emperor, to provide Werlyt with independent autonomy and to free her brother Alphonse. Which, wow, that's a lot to unpack. So Valens trusts Ali. Quite strange.
Valens trusts Ali to be self-interested.
Yes. So yeah, because obviously he wouldn't trust her 100% because she's not Garlean. So he gives her access to the diamond weapon to help him topple Xenos as emperor, so he can become emperor. And in exchange for that, he will give Werlyt
plan.
And in exchange for that, he will give Werlyt independence and then free her brother Alphonse. What? Sure, this will work out just fine. For
both parties, I'm sure.
So when she's inside the diamond weapon, Ali obviously attempts to destroy the facility and escape with the weapon. Now, this was a weird scene because I feel like she did it. She shouldn't have. It's always so stupid when you're like, oh, I can kill him now. And then you announce it. And then you have to like wait for it to like power. Like they have so much time to like figure out what to do. Just fucking kill him first. Don't tell him anything. Anyway, surprise. Valens gets it shut down because she can't hit him. So one single anime tier later, she's able to activate the Overmind function because the tier activates Overmind.
I don't think that's necessarily how it happens. I think, well, you find out later that Alphonse is the diamond weapon.
Yes.
And I think Alphonse is like, oh no, my sister's crying.
But
I'm going to help her.
But it's so funny when it happens because you don't know that when you first see the scene. It just looks like tier is the key, which is classic anime. So she activates Overmind and escapes the facility in the diamond weapon. So now we're back in Werlyt. Evelina has assisted Sid in upgrading the G Warrior into the G Savior.
Wait. Let me talk about this for a moment.
Oh yeah, there's some references here as well.
This is the funniest fucking reference ever.
Yeah.
G Savior is a live-action Canadian film about Gundam. It's called G Savior.
Oh.
And if you want to know what it's like, it's literally the equivalent of Spirits Within for Gundam. It is fucking batshit.
Oh my god. That sounds great.
I'm so surprised to see a fucking G Savior reference.
Oh god. Well, there you go. We have the G Savior, which has been designed to capture the final weapon. Gaius will pilot it, while the Warrior of Light will remain on deck to incapacitate the diamond weapon. Now we have to discuss the fucking fight. This is the final weapon. This is the final trial in the weapon series. Do you think did it feel like the final fight to you?
No.
Very
underwhelming.
It has...
This
go on.
has been a problem with their trial series since Heavensward. Zervan, Seiryu, and now the Diamond Weapon are all not the best fights in their trial series.
Right. It has technically one phase. I mean, you could say that it has two phases with or three if you want to count the Ifrit phase and then going back to its old the normal form again. But it's really just one phase. Let's be real.
It's just disappointing because you build up this expectation of every fight's gonna have this big transformation.
Yeah.
Big oversoul thing. I know it's Overmind, so it's different, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's Ruby out. That was fucking insane. Ruby Cinder Drift is so cool.
Yeah.
Same thing with Emerald Weapon. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And this could be cool too. It has a cool arena design. It has some cool ideas.
Yeah.
Then it ends, and you're like, that was
it.
There's no.
Yeah. During the fight, I was thinking, this has a lot of HP. This is going to be a really long fight if there's a second phase.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a second phase.
No.
And then there wasn't.
That was the reaction everyone, because we did it together, Georgi.
Yes.
And when we finished it, we were with other people that did it the first time as well. And we both said, and in chat, people said, that's it. And it's that's it.
The fight mechanically itself,
Uh-huh.
totally sound. I think that arena's actually cool with little warp points. I think that's a very cool mechanic. It's just not having. It feels weird not following it up with anything.
Yeah.
The G Warrior isn't particularly involved, or so G Savior isn't particularly involved either, and it's
it's so strange because they like you said, they've already given us this idea that there's always going to be this second phase with the Oversoul, there's going to be this and they were always massive transitions, right, with cutscenes and everything, but then they went ahead and teased a Xenos Oversoul at some point. So you already, I mean, for story reasons, that isn't a thing, but there's nothing.
I think that's totally fine. If it was or wasn't Xenos, if the fight was the same or whatever,
yeah,
totally fine.
Yeah.
It's just that the the presentation of everything felt very
Underwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And while it is cool to fight on a fucking G-Savior arena, the surroundings aren't that cool. It's clouds. We've been there before. We've done Bismarck. Oh boy, we've done Bismarck. I don't know. It's disappointing. And then I thought, okay, surely they've saved the epicness then for the extreme. They have not. It is. I mean, yes, it has more mechanics. It is more. It's. I have more fun doing the extreme version, but it is still not the spectacle that I was expecting from the diamond weapon. But yeah, there you go. It's a sad conclusion.
It'd be almost like ending Shadowbringers, not with Hades, but with Vothri or something. Like you finish it, you'd be like,
yeah,
that was Shadowbringers.
Yes, yeah.
You build up all this expectation and cool stuff, and then you end on like a fart.
Yeah.
But it's fucked up because the story's great though.
Yes, the story is fantastic. Yeah. So, yeah, it was just a bit of a wet fart, this fight. But the music as well.
Help.
I see chat bringing it up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that musically it's not impressive either.
No.
Because like both of the first two have like massive like changes in the song halfway through when the Oversoul is activated, and then in this fight, it's like, I know it's not the same song as the Primal remix of Ultima's theme that we got in the first two fights. It's the same song though.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go anywhere.
No.
Yeah, it falls so flat. And just, again, comparing it to Diamond and Ruby Weapon is like, it feels like this one could have been the first fight.
Yes.
And then you could have had the expectation of like, oh, this is how the weapon fights are going to go. It's okay, I guess, but that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then you would have gotten the Oversoul or like the different phase change stuff.
Ruby would have been like the perfect end. Because you remember the fucking second phase of that with fucking Dalamud falling, like all the city-states in ruins around. It was crazy.
And maybe they wanted to go more for like the emotional thing of like, oh, this is not, they want to make it Alphonse's and it's their story. You got to focus on them.
Yeah.
Totally fine. I get that too. I do prefer that, I think, but they don't do anything really. He just says, my sister, in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. My moto.
It is where, I mean, this is a tired argument, but pandemic. They've already said that they're like working at 90% capacity now. Like they're hardly affected by it at this point. So I don't really think that has much to do with it anymore, right?
Made Emerald during the pandemic.
True.
They made Warrior of Light during the pandemic.
They made Emerald while they were still like shuffling. Like they were like at very low capacity when they made Emerald. Like that was in the midst of all the chaos. So yeah, I think it's just. I'm sorry, it's just a lackluster fight. They missed
There's
the mark.
potential there too. If they really want to do like continue like with the thing of like, oh, when they Oversoul or Overmind or whatever, they project like a field or something of like with different images and backgrounds. They totally could have done something with Alphonse. Like, I don't know, maybe it's his memories floating by. I don't know, something, or all of the soldiers that were abused by Valen.
So like something visually more similar to the final part of Eden's Promise.
Yeah.
Just like you could have done some stuff there, and they didn't go for it.
No,
I don't know why.
No. There you go. Also, we have to mention that we never got to pilot the G-Warrior again.
No.
Which is surprising.
Well, they have said that.
Yeah, they did say, which is why I'm so surprised. So we're going to just bring it back then, I guess, for MSQ or something.
I didn't expect it now.
No.
Because I just didn't see how they would implement it into this, considering that we have to actually fight it directly.
See, the cynical part of me would say, though, like, what are you talking about? They already included it. It's the stage.
Right. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. Also, it's not called the G Warrior; it's a G Savior now. Like that's what it looks like now. So,
well, here's the thing: post quest, so they suggest during the quest line that they transform the G Warrior into the G Savior. Post quest line, they have both still in the hangar.
oh, right. So they just made a new one. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, we need to move on. So after defeating the diamond weapon, the containment mechanism failed, and the weapon falls to the earth. Well, to the Hydaelyn.
Yeah.
Finding the fallen weapon...
The earth as in, like...
The ground.
The ground, yeah.
Finding the fallen weapon in Werlyt, Ali stumbles away from the wreckage. So Gaius tells us to take her back to Turncliffe. And then there's like this moment where he does the anime like eye like chung, which was very funny. And he calls out Valence, who's hiding nearby, somehow survived the factory being blown the fuck up.
Yeah,
the
with
glass
with his iPad, of course.
Yeah.
Old man iPad.
Yeah, he challenges him to a final duel. Yeah, he pulls out his iPad. He asks of Alphonse's whereabouts, and Valence gloats that he fused Alphonse's mind with a diamond weapon, and that makes Gaius angry. So he starts putting up his iPad, starts browsing Reddit. Gaius says, well, you've mastered the iPad. I've been mastering the gunblade. And he does epic move. But his iPad just fucking protects him, which is funny.
So the upgraded one that Gaius does, it's cool.
Yes.
I don't like that he calls out the skill.
No, that was
what was the name of it? Oh,
yeah, what was
a fucking anime?
Yeah, it's turned to anime.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
It's so quick too, because it's such haha, I know all your moves. You can't defeat me.
Yeah.
And he's like, check this out. He's like, huh? The iPad? I don't say that. It doesn't die there, at least.
Yeah.
Not that long.
No. Well, the diamond weapon reactivates and grabs Valence, and we get... he can't even remember Alphonse's name, which I thought was funny. He keeps calling him the wrong thing. I don't even remember what he says, but he says something stupid, similar to Alphonse. And then the greatest scene to have ever been made in this game ensues. He is slowly being crushed by the diamond weapon, and then at some point I'm like, they're not gonna do that. He's gonna just throw him away, right? But then he just keeps going, and you just hear like, and he's like, oh, I guess like that face, and then they cut away, and he fucking pops, and you can hear like a wine bottle emptying.
It was really dark. I didn't expect that.
No,
honestly, but
well,
I appreciate it's bold. I appreciate it.
I like that they don't. I like it when they don't show something that's that horrible, because the images in your mind are so much horrible than what they probably could have made. So
I talked about this on the stream where we did the fight originally.
Yeah.
Actually, no, later I think.
Okay.
I think this is not the original sound effect they wanted. I think they had to make it less horrible to account for the rating of the game.
See, you say this, but I still think it's quite horrible, even if it's not like the. I don't know.
No, I think it's still quite horrible. But I think if they were to make something more visceral, it would increase the rating.
Because remember, the Foley artist would have to make this, and I don't know how they would like. Maybe this was a simple way to just add. It's just popping a cork and pouring the contents of a bottle out. I think that's essentially what the sound effect is.
The pouring sound is pretty it gives you some images in your head that are fucked up.
The sound effect to me works, even though I mean it's a cork popping and some wine being poured out or water probably.
But it's like, yo, that dude got squeezed so much.
Yeah, but you know what's happening.
Off, I guess, and he just spewed out like a fucking wine bottle.
Yeah.
Nice tall glass of fucking water.
But yeah, I think they maybe specifically did what they did to tiptoe around the H rating, probably, yes, as well. Because they can be like, no. What you're hearing is a cork popping and some water being poured out. There's nothing bad with that.
The Diamond Weapons congratulating Gaius on a job well done.
yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so there's more anime moments will ensue. Because Alphonse materializes in front of him, and he asks Gaius to kill him, and pass the synthetic auracite holding his memories onto Ali. Gaius then kills him. It starts to rain. Is that what? Why does it say what a terrible day for rain?
Okay, you don't understand the reference.
I'm not a weeb. Is this an anime reference?
Yeah, so it's a Full Metal Alchemist thing.
Oh, Full Metal. Oh god, that's an old reference. Oh, okay, well I've watched Full Metal Alchemist. I get it now.
Yeah,
okay, I wasn't tuned in. All right, I get it. All right. Ali is left in a state of shock, with Sid investigating whether this is a symptom of piloting the diamond weapon. So while you wait for Gaius to return, you go speak to Avelina, who has completed the monument to Turncliffe's Fallen. That was another quest that you did
last
patch. There's a little monument at the end of the thing. You know the thing. So Gaius now returns and asks for Ali. She's not talking. And Sid then concludes that it is a result of trauma from realizing what actually had happened to her brother when she activated the Overmind system. Yes, okay. So he then affirms his promise to Alphonse and his other children. Gaius reinstates his desire to restore Werlyt's independence, which normally I feel like you would need to do more than... Like, if Garlemald was still stable, they'd be fucked. Like, what they just did, I feel like Garlemald would just be like, oh, you killed a Legatus, did you? Well, goodbye. And they just fucking nuke the shit out of them. But they're lucky because it's not stable right now.
Are you sure?
I feel like they would do burnt...
But here, we killed Xenos.
He wasn't a Legatus.
Yes, but we killed Xenos? Yeah, he killed himself, to be fair, but technically, yes.
Yeah, but they didn't know that.
But we're Eorzea. Like, we're a unified alliance of nations. This is this tiny little port town off the edge of, like, a fucking... out of the middle of nowhere. Without a military, for the most part.
It's not just Turncliffe. Werlyt is more than just Turncliffe.
Yeah, I know. But we don't know how big Werlyt is. We actually don't... So we know nothing about Werlyt.
Yeah, we don't really know the size of Werlyt, so...
But I would assume Werlyt still borders other provinces that Garlemald controls. And I would assume they would just...
Yeah, but so does Doma.
Yeah. But Doma got help from Eorzea.
No, it didn't.
Did we not free... Did we not help?
We did, but I wouldn't say we represent all of
I don't know why
Eorzea.
you're arguing... This isn't even a real scenario here. I don't know why you're still going on about this. Okay, we need to move on. Let's see. Sid says to Gaius to take care of Ali, since she looks up to Gaius the way Sid once did. Severa and Voldalin have found some degree of closure in working alongside Gaius. A member of the Werlyt revolutionaries appear with Valen's captured children, and Gaius tells the orphans of how his own children fought and sacrificed to free Werlyt. Apparently, this comforts the children. After we leave, Gaius goes to hand the synthetic orosite to Ali when it springs forth memories of the orphan's past through Turncliffe. Ali has one last opportunity to speak with her siblings before reaffirming with Gaius to live on for them. We got some flashbacks from dead people. We also got to see what's his name? Westwind. Ritaten one last time at the end.
Yeah.
What?
Saw Livia.
Yeah, we saw Livia. We saw them all.
Yeah. I really didn't expect this part of Werlyt to really get to me, but it kind of did. You know, it really caught me by surprise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Oh. My neighbor's got his motorcycle out. It's a good story. It's also interesting to see that Gaius is probably not going to be the new leader of Garlemald, but probably the leader of Werlyt going forward. Because that was, was a theory people had, that Gaius would be like in charge of the Garlean restoration. I think Gaius is very interesting to me because he still cares very deeply about Garlemald. So, he doesn't really hide it. Like every time he speaks of Garlemald, it's like, yeah, but it's controlled by bad people. Garlemald itself is still, the people of Garlemald are still worth fighting for. Mm-hmm. There's also, I keep bringing this up, but even like when remember that scene where he's with Estinian? And they're in the Imperial Palace, and Xenos has stabbed, what's his father's name? Varus. He shouts Euradians, like in a very weird. It's so strange. It's so because that will be an interesting dynamic, like part of his story. I think going forward is him trying to like lead this new nation, which is like independent now from Garlemald, but he also his Garlemald's been destroyed. It's interesting. I can see some intriguing plot points here.
It's interesting because like he still respected Varus enough to call him your Radiance, but he was actively undermining his actions by destroying the Black Rose facilities.
Yes, but did he not have like this belief that the Asians were like behind it? Because that's what he said when he saw Xenos stabbing Varus. Was who are you now? Like who's in him now? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We haven't even. Yeah, he doesn't even know about the true story about Garlemald. So I don't wonder how that will hit him. The Asian construct that it is. Okay, so what do you? So now that Werlyt is over. How do you feel about the story, like just overall, like what do you think about the story now that it's concluded, it's done? Georgi.
It's clumsy. It is interesting, but the fact that there's only like one quest per patch was not enough to fully get across the fact that this was Gaius's redemption arc. Because everyone outside of Gaius is not that likable to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because the entire plan that the orphans had is poorly conceived.
Right. Yeah.
They're angry young kids though, trying to.
I know that
ideal. So
I know that's the explanation. Is that they're kids. They haven't thought this through, like carefully enough. But the fact, everyone exists. That's a good point, chat. That everyone exists to like progress Gaius as a character, rather than for their own existence.
I see that. Yeah, it's also. I don't know if we talked about this. This is a long time ago, but I always said like it's gonna be hard for Gaius to get a redemption arc considering what he's done, all the shit he's done.
He's a hero of Werlyt now, though. Come on.
Now he's like a hero of Werlyt, and that's somehow
But that's why they had to invent Valens. They had to make someone
Yes.
so irredeemable that in comparison, like, oh, it's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. That's why they made him so horrible, so that we would like forget that Gaius. He's done some fucked up shit. Yeah, his arc. I think I agree that his arc might not be over. He will probably return, and I mean, he definitely return in some capacity in Endwalker.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the story has. I think it's a good story, but I agree that it's like bumpy. It's very uneven. It's an uneven story sometimes.
Like, my question would be, why don't the rotary weapon is very powerful already? Why didn't they try and fight back then? Why did they need to wait until the diamond weapon before they started trying to fight against Valens?
Right. Yeah.
Well, we have to die. We have to sacrifice 3 of us for this to work.
No, you will die for Gaius's development.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, I felt sad for Gaius because he felt sad for his kids. So
I
that made
agree.
me feel sad for his kids too.
Yeah.
So it did that part at least. And the like fucking like the redheaded girl, whatever her name was, and the green one. Yeah. Literally had no character.
Recon.
Yeah.
They didn't. I guess the other dude too, who we saw slightly more of, but just died as a fucking duty.
I think Rex has a character.
Rex has.
Recon is the one that dies in the duty.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah.
Like at first you're like, who? All right.
Yeah.
I know they're his kids, but they aren't telling me anything. I'm just killing them.
God. Yeah.
But like, Alphonse and the girl or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
And then you see the sad flashbacks, like when they're all together. It's like, okay. Retroactively, that makes them a little bit better for me. It's a shame they couldn't show it more on screen. There was at least a decent attempt. And I think it mostly nails the landing. I think that ending is still pretty effective. At least, the climax, I should say, with Valens being gripped to death. And all the people he tortured.
Yeah.
Like that's still like a really like strong scene that kind of gets across the point. So I can't hate it. I thoroughly enjoyed Werlyt, even with this lackluster fight.
See, the other problem I have, I said this during the Emerald when we discussed the Emerald weapon, was that the other 4 just like treat Allie like a child.
Yes.
Like she has no agency.
Right.
And like she's clearly smart.
Yeah.
Her plan was as equally as bad as theirs was to try and commandeer the diamond weapon, but she's no less intelligent than they are. She is equally capable of making a bad plan and sticking to it.
Yeah.
But they say she's the softest, so
I hate that explanation.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Okay. This is gonna sound weird.
Oh no.
But do you have siblings, Georgi?
No.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know about you. Are you like the youngest child
I'm
or
the oldest?
You're the oldest. Okay. And you have one brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, maybe less in your situation, but like I had a lot of siblings. And I can definitely kind of feel like that sibling thing of like, maybe they aren't the youngest sibling, but they're definitely kind of the softest. And like maybe you kind of protect them from your parents or like from other kids, or like that's a thing some siblings do, and that made sense to me.
But here's the thing: Allie's not the youngest of the 5 of them. Melisandre was.
It's nothing about age. It's not about age. It's just like, because like for me it was like my brother, who was the second oldest. He's the middle child. He's definitely kind of quote unquote soft, So like me and my sister always like kind of protected him, if that makes sense. And so
Yeah.
I can see how that works.
I
in
can
this
I can
family.
see the sibling dynamic thing. Yeah, I just think it was a little too much with her. We had this discussion before. We already discussed this in a previous episode. We don't have to go down this road again. But yeah. They have tried so hard to redeem Gaius. They made him an Ascian slayer. They gave him orphans that he's cared for. They made a villain so horrible, like we had to pop him. We had to squeeze him to death.
They erased the Livia thing.
Yes, they erased the horrible Livia thing.
Now that's fucking sloppy. I don't like that part.
Right. Yeah, they made Livia. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's not Gaius. Gaius is the good one.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So, if you look at it that way, a little, a bit try hard on the Gaius redemption arc here, but they really want to redeem Gaius. They want us to forget what he did. What?
They did not give this storyline enough, like, time.
No.
I think.
No. I would have loved it if Werlyt didn't end here and that we would have that as like a continuous side story thing going forward. Alas, it did say Finn at the end, so that is definitely the end of that storyline. Yeah.
They definitely have more plans for Gaius too.
Oh yeah, they did say that he will definitely pop up again in Endwalker.
Yeah. And I said this on a stream. I think in 5.1, either Ali or Avelina will be a custom delivery NPC.
Oh yes, yeah. What?
Well, that's how they're going to rejuvenate Turncliffe.
Yes, that's true. All right, okay, that's it. I think that's a good wrap up of Werlyt. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
We'll be back again next week, same time, same place. If you're watching live, we're going into post-show. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIreland, YouTube.com/SpeakersXIV, Discord and chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you're watching on demand, link is in the description. Send us mogmail, speakersxiv.com/mogmail. We'll read it next week. And we remember to watch other content on Speakers Place, youtube.com/Speakers Place. Stay tuned for the post-show coming live right now. Goodbye!
Bye.